Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast is the second game of the Jedi Knight trilogy for PC and consoles. It also happens to be a continuation of the plot that began in Star Wars Dark Forces, following the character of Kyle Katarn. The story takes place about 8 years after the events of Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. The Rebellion has been working towards building up the New Republic while combating the remnants of the Empire scattered across the galaxy. Kyle is a mercenary working for the New Republic, who also happens to be a former Jedi. He cut off his connection to the Force after nearly falling to the dark side, only to then leave the New Jedi Order and become a mercenary. While taking on missions for the New Republic, an emerging group of Imperial remnants appears, led by a Dark Jedi named Desan. Desan searches for the Valley of the Jedi to absorb the power it holds and use it to strengthen his army through the Force. He wants to attack the Jedi Academy on Yavin 4 and absorb the power within the Force Nexus, conquering the galaxy afterwards. Kyle teams up with an ensemble of characters, including classics like Mon Mothma, Lando Calrissian, and Luke Skywalker, to confront Desan and repel the Empire once again. The story is considered Legends material now, so it's not part of the official Star Wars canon, but that doesn't mean it's not worth seeing how interesting the galaxy was in a post-Return of the Jedi timeline from back in the day. Jedi Outcast is both a first-person and third-person shooter, which works out well depending on what you're doing. However, the game stumbles very hard in a few ways that make the whole experience difficult to play through.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
The action is fast-paced, but aiming and moving around during shootouts could be a big problem. The controls are very annoying if you're not playing on a PC with a mouse and keyboard. Controls on the gamepad are stiff and can mess up your aim when you're trying to be very precise. Enemies you run into move incredibly fast and erratic, making it very difficult to get a good hit on them. At the same time, their aim is incredibly good, so you'll have to keep moving around if you don't want to get shot. But while groups of enemies are a problem, the real enemy is the checkpoint and save system. It could be a huge nightmare to replay the entire mission over again because you didn't save frequently. The checkpoints are atrocious, forcing you to manually save in order to keep your progress and not replay long sections. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I would get killed randomly and need to redo a huge part of the level because I didn't save in a good spot. This is why autosaving in games is a godsend these days. A big part of the game is your Jedi abilities. Wielding a lightsaber and using the Force in combat can be pretty fun, despite the aiming being tedious. I feel that the game gets so much better once you have a lightsaber in hand. You won't have to shoot at enemies in most situations where you could just use your lightsaber. It's great for taking down large groups, but occasionally you'll need to use a blaster or another weapon on targets that are far away. Speaking of which, you get a variety of weapons throughout the game, but things get very interesting once you have your Force powers unlocked. You can push and pull enemies in combat, as well as use other Force powers too. Force Heal and the Jedi Mind Trick are pretty cool to use, as well as Force Speed, which can allow you to dash around groups of enemies. The Force powers are also used for solving puzzles from time to time, but moments like these are very slow and can really bring down the game, especially when you have to figure out exactly what to do and where to go. Overall, there's some pretty annoying things present, but there's also some fun nuggets in here as well.
I don't believe that. And you're sounding like a separatist.
So was this game a 1 in a million shot? Can I recommend you pick up Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast for any platform? I would say yes, but go with the version that's most comfortable for you, both with the controls and understanding how annoying the saving can be. I really feel that the Switch port of this game is ruined a bit by the stiff controls, which may or may not feel different for some people. I played the PC version of this game and it feels smoother on there. As a story that's not tied to the current Star Wars canon, it's an interesting take on events after the movies, but not the best Star Wars story in my opinion. If you're a big fan of a galaxy far, far away, then you'll probably enjoy diving into this game, but if you decide to skip it, don't feel like you're missing out on anything crazy. It's not a waste of time, but not a must-play game for me either.
How can you do this?
This is outrageous. It's unfair.
Take a seat, young Skywalker.